And we are live. So, hi, welcome to another episode of A Good Story. And I'm sitting here with a good person named Mike Dardano. But not only is he a good person, you are, I think about this. So now I got to look at you. I think about it. You are also you're a good friend. You're a good marketer. You're a good advocate. You're a good listener. You're a good business person. You're a good visionary. That's one of the things I was thinking about. That might be at the top of my list for you.
Well, I'm going to tell my wife.
I was going to say you're a good husband.
Thank you. All the other stuff, whatever, but thank you for the husband part.
You're a good photographer. Did I say that already?
No.
You're a good collaborator, a good team player, as well as a leader, which is hard to do both. And you're a good colleague. But like I said in the beginning, most importantly, you're just a really good person, and that's why you're here. So welcome.
Thank you. Feelings mutual. That's why I'm here too.
It's this is like the only prerequisite for being a guest on here, because I don't need to make money or get attention from this. So the only reason I do it is because I want to. It's really empowering to do something just because you want to, and like whatever happens out there, whatever.
Absolutely.
But the prerequisite is to just be a good person and somebody that, like, so you're episode 8 of this new series, and everybody that I've had on, I consider everything, some of the things that I said, like a close friend, a good person, somebody I could work with, somebody I can talk to, bounce things off of. And you, I met, like, dude, I think, so my wife will tell me, she's like, you never stop. Like, you never sit down. Like, when I'm at home, I never stop moving around. And I used to think that I was the only person in the world that was like that, until I realized that I would see you at 7 a.m. at a networking thing and then like at a party at 9 o'clock at night. So that I'm like, sheesh, this guy. How do you do that? How do I see you so often everywhere? Like, how do you have enough energy to do all this?
Well, a lot of things I did in the 80s are still in my system, I think. It allows me to have that extra energy.
But it's got to run out eventually.
You know what? It doesn't if...
You enjoy this stuff.
I enjoy it. I mean, obviously if I won the lottery tomorrow, I wouldn't work this way, but I would still do stuff like nonprofit stuff and, buy land and leave it in perpetuity to piss people off. Oh, these trees are still here. Can we cut them down? No, because it's in a trust. So
you want power.
I also want to, I've always not like bullies and the big guy. So I feel that small businesses need help more than, MasterCard does what they do. So I think, and you're an advocate of that too with what you do. And I think, as I look at the people that you had on this, they're all the same thing. We need to support a small business because small business is community, and we need to support community. And we can't control Albany and Washington and even, in White Plains at the county level to a degree, but we can control our own world. And by helping people, whether they're a nonprofit, for-profit, or whatever, it doesn't matter. That's empowering, and that's energy, and that's positive energy because you see the results. When you work with a client, especially a smaller client, you're going to see the results right away, and you're going to feel the feedback from them as well. When you work for a bigger client and there's bureaucracy and levels, sometimes you just do it. You don't really know if it did anything. Like, for example, the Child Care Council, when you put that video up that you did for the Child Care Council and everyone's like, oh, wow, they take their breath away and then they donate. That's cool. That's empowering. So same thing for me, helping someone, whatever it happens to be. One time for a client, I made a salad at the deli, and I used to do their flyers, and they're like, Mike, do you want to make salad? I'm like, yeah, give me some gloves, man. I'm Italian. I know how to make food. And I was mixing the salad for him, Like,
what are you? You're Italian in what?
Well, my family is from the same town in Italy, Albi, which is in Calabria.
Ah, you're Calabrese.
Calabrese. And what's interesting about it is that my mother's father and my father's father all came from the same town, and they actually kind of knew each other, which was interesting. My father's mother was first generation. So yeah, I learned how to cook at an early age. When you have a vowel at the end of your name, you better know how to cook. Otherwise, you're in trouble. So I know how to cook. I can cook all kinds of stuff. which
You
is kinda
better
cool.
you better know how to cook, dance, talk, or love.
All that.
If you got the vowel.
You got the vowel. And then if I need, when I used to drink, I just put the vowel at the beginning of my name. We were good to go, man. It's like, oh, Dardano, here you are. Yes, baby, I'm ready to.
You should have been a bartender. You probably would have been like, that's so beneath you.
No,
I'm
it
a
would-
jerk for that.
no, no,
But-
no, no, no,
But
but-
your wit, you have the wit of a bartender.
I would have been a great bartender. Unfortunately, at the time, I would have been a bartender. I probably wouldn't have made it out alive. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
problem.
yeah.
Like, if you think about it,
That's why you don't see me out at night, by the way. After 10 o'clock, it's not good.
well,
for
you're
me.
smart. But think about it. When you were 20 and you won the lottery, what would you have done versus now and you won the lottery? Like, if I was 20 and won the lottery,
YOLO. Oh,
crash and burn, baby. Crash and burn. Line City, let's spark this up. Now it would be different, but back then, so I can understand how that money can corrupt you at an early age. But now, you have kids and you have responsibility. You'd be like, okay, this is great. We'll go out to dinner a little more, but I'm not going to blow it. And that maturity level and that kind of thing, we hopefully happen. And then you take that into your work too. It's like, okay, I've learned everything I did as a kid, all the mistakes I made, I learned so that I can be a better person, a better marketer, but also try to help my clients or friends not make the same mistakes that I did. And I made a lot of mistakes, but even, now with networking, back in the day, you probably remember this to a degree too. I'm a lot older than you, but still, the guys that would come out and just give you their card and sell, those days are gone. But that's what I grew up with. Hi, I'm Fred. Here's a card and sell, and blah blah blah, and hard drinking, slow burn for the long haul. And they're drinking, Cutty Sark with an ice cube in it, and they partied all day and night. And they'd say, as long as you come to work at 8 o'clock, you're good to go. But then they all died of like cancer and stuff. So I learned from all that, and a lot of what they did was just humana, to quote the great Ralph Cramden. I don't want to do humana. I mean, sometimes you have to. Do you know why I pulled you over, sir? Humana. I don't know. Because what does Sarah Silverman say? Because you got a C- in high school or whatever.
you have so many things going on in your brain. I can't keep up with you.
So,
I don't have Sarah Silverman sound bites in my head.
Yeah. Because a guy was talking about it last night. Anyways, so that's the point. So what we try to do, and you do it too through your work, because you're a storyteller. And you have to tell a story because you've got to tug at someone's emotion. People buy from businesses that they like, that makes them feel a way. And
Well, especially now, Mike. I mean, it's like, I think about this because there was a lot of colleagues that I have there in video a couple of years ago. They were going, we need to make as much money as possible now and get out of this business because AI is going to take over. And some of that I have is a fear on how people are going to use video. By the way, that video you made of the bread going around you. I've watched that seven times. I have no idea what the bread company was, but you getting lost in a pile of dough is brilliant.
they loved it, by the way. They
So-
thought it was funny.
The recall. So if everybody, I love when 100 people run one direction and I get to be the one that goes in the other way. So not that I'm not going to fool around with AI and use it, whether it's for efficiency or to make some videos. I've already done it. But there's also now going to be a calling for more real because people are getting so much. I mean, it was fake and phony with filters and pictures and all that. Now it's in videos. Now you don't even know who you're hearing, what you're seeing. So in the line that I do, it's like I cannot use AI to show a young mother struggling to raise her child. That would be terrible if I used AI for that.
Horrible.
But so yeah, like real the emotion. I mean, you're a musician. Is an emotion even in the songs? Like, can you really have a good song without a good emotion?
It's interesting. I saw it on, was it Instagram?
Do you sing or you play an instrument?
I sing and I write lyrics. Some people say I sing. I'm cutting edge, and that's not in a good
You're like
way.
a Bob Dylan, like you have a personality voice. Is
Yeah,
that what
but
you're
I'm
trying to
not
say?
Bob Dylan. I'm more of a Johnny Rotten, punk. I don't care singer. Even when I sing everything except the blues.
You'd be into that like parody music. A lot of what people are getting into is like these parody rock and rollers. Do you know what I'm talking about? I just learned about this.
I made parody music in the 80s in my room. You take the song, and you'd play the song, and you'd stand in front of the microphone so that you cut, because I didn't have any technology, there's no digital stuff, and to kind of blunt out the lyrics. So, for example, Call Me the Breeze, which is a Leonard Skinner song, right? I changed the lyrics to Call Me the Wheeze, and I had my friend Buzz sing it, who was like smoking everything, and we Call Me the Wheeze, and then instead of lead guitar, I did lead cough, and I was coughing.
You were like Weird Al.
Yeah, Weird Al, and I would do these versions of these songs and then play them to my friends who were in altered states, and I wouldn't tell them. I'd say, oh, listen to this song. This is pretty cool. And they go, all right. And they listen to it. They go, oh, yeah, that's Leonard Skinner. Then they hear the lyrics. And they go, wow, wow, that's wild. How'd you do that? And it was simple. Anyways, now you can do parodies, whatever. You see them all the time. But I think your point about the AI thing is interesting because, all these, meetings on it and blah, 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 blah. And I think with AI for a local business or a local nonprofit, and you mentioned the thing I did it, but it was me, and it was a real company, a Signal Fire Bread.
You're also not trying to hide.
Correct, and it says AI on it. It's obviously, and so, but I'm using a real background and a real person, kind of like with green screen. But I do not believe you should use AI characters, because once you start using AI characters and you're supposed to be like local and community oriented, it's a lie. It's fake. So AI can be very helpful in some regards, but if you're going to use AI, and there's been local businesses that have used AI, and people give them crap because you're using AI. This is not someone in the restaurant. These are AI characters.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
It's just wrong. So you can use AI if you're using real stuff. I couldn't animate that. I mean, I could, but it would be so expensive. I don't have that kind of stuff.
I can't get the image out of my head.
I know, it's so stupid. It's ridiculous. I know.
So
but they told me, so I did one in the summer where I'm holding a brown bag. I love their, they bet the great sourdough products, right, at Signal Fire Bread.
Is that what it is? What are you saying?
Signal Fire Bread. They have their sourdough
Signal Fire
bread in Garrison, and they're members of the Hudson Valley Gateway Chamber. So, I wanted, they used to be in Peekskill, right close, like right down the street from you, but they moved in the summer. And so I don't know, I found this thing, CapCut has some AI stuff. So I'm like, let me put it in. It was a tornado. So it shows me holding the bag, and all of a sudden, whoa, and I dropped the bag, and I fly out of the hurricane. They thought it was hysterical. And I showed everybody, this is funny. So then
you have to stop and just see what's going on.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So I did that one, and I did the dough one. Now I got another one where they have, it's really me. I'm in my car. They have awesome carrot muffins, right? But they use real pumpkin seeds from New York, not the crappy ones from China. So
I didn't even know.
Yeah. But, oh, absolutely. It's a big deal. Like a lot of pumpkin seeds are not from here, but these are New York. They're big and hearty pumpkin seeds. And so I'm holding it like this. All of a sudden, the pumpkin seeds go boom, and they kind of explode to the thing. So I'm going to be like an explosion of pumpkin carrot flavor. That's what I'm going to. And you can voice over it. And I use copywritten music, so the video can only be 20 seconds. Because in that dough one, I made a 40-second one where I was absolutely lip syncing. It's an AC/DC song, Up to My Neck in You, which I thought was appropriate. They stripped it when I put it. Yeah, because it's 40 seconds, but 20 seconds is okay because they have that song. That's the thing about Instagram. They have I don't know what the deals they have with these, bands, but if it's 20 seconds, it's fine. If it's longer than that, then they strip it. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'll just put that part in. I did another one for Westchester.
Can't you just post it twice then? Can't you just post half or it doesn't work?
Well, no, I just deleted it because I don't want to deal with it. And there's another company called Westchester Business Center, which is in Chappaqua and White Plains. And they had a Christmas party and they had a snowman on the table. And so I'm like, I got to do something. So I animated a snowman and he's playing lead guitar for a song called Rock and Roll Christmas. And it's lead, and so the snowman's standing there, and all of a sudden he starts jamming, and he's running around the table playing guitar, and he runs in the hallway and playing guitar. So I'm going to post that tomorrow. I'm posting it, and I'll put their logo over it. But that was really their snowman. It was their snowman on the table, and it's their conference room. But then, obviously he's moving around stuff. But it's just trying to be different, because all these AI videos, you can tell they're AI, like the ones where the cat gets pulled over by the cop on Instagram, and the cat goes, "Meow." Do you know why I pulled you over? And the cat goes, "Meow," and then it jumps into the cop's car. But it's like the same thing. I don't want to copy people. I don't need to copy that. The ones where the cats are playing the instruments, which is kind of funny. The initial time you see it, so the cat is on the porch, and the cat's playing drums, and the woman comes out and goes, "It's 3:00 in the morning. Stop giving us." And so she grabs the sticks, and the cat goes, "Meow." then playing trombone, then they're playing banjo. And it's funny, but not the 500th time. And that's what happens. People copy it. So when I look at what people do on AI, I'm like, I'm not copying them. I don't want to do a template. I'm not going to do that. I want to do different stuff.
Has there ever been a technology where people just got fatigued by it? Do you know what I mean? Like when the TV came out and the radio came out, you just could never get enough of it. And, people, like we flirt with this. We say like, oh, AI is just a fad. No, it's not. It's here to stay. I'm kind of feeling like there's a part of it that people are just getting turned off. You're pointing out some of them, but I don't know. I'm wondering if it's not this way. I don't know.
I think you're right. I think there's fatigue on so many
But that's never
levels.
happened before, so I don't know if I'm right.
I think
Why would it be this one?
I think you're right because there was somebody it was what was Ethan Hawke. It was Ethan, I think Ethan Hawke. I think I saw him on Insta or whatever, and he said, I'm tired.
He's brilliant.
He said, I'm tired of AI. And I mean, they have obviously the whole actor thing, that's a whole nother issue, but I am too. I like clever. Like when you do your videos, it's a story. It's awesome. Like the one you did of me when we did that thing a couple years ago, that was hysterical. It was great, but you captured my essence. And then I know you did some other ones, and that's the way you draw.
Because it's the process. So I'm not cheating time, right? So AI, it's a prompt. It's done in seconds. Where my process is sit down with me. I'm going to interview you for 45 minutes to find 1 minute of gold.
Right. Right, which AI can't do and will never be able to do. Yeah. So I agree with you. I think there is fatigue, but also people are limited by their creativity. So here's another thing about AI. Back in the 80s, I experimented with hallucinogens, right? What I'm doing with AI is I'm putting
It sounds like an organic vegetable.
I know.
Hallucinogens.
Some of them were. Others were not, unfortunately. Some of them were organic and others were not. And so one of the instances.
Thank you for coming here today.
Absolutely.
You've been very open. This is great. I didn't know this was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
You're just a fun guy. Can I give you a compliment real quick?
Okay.
Before you go into this next tangent. Just remember hallucinogens in the 80s. I'm sure you won't forget.
All right.
I just want to give you a compliment because you help out a lot of small businesses. It's kind of, we never even talked about what you do. That's why I like my conversations. I don't sit there, tell me about yourself when you do this, but you just...
Who cares?
We're going to hook them in with funny stories, emotions, kind of all the stuff we preach. But most businesses, even mine, I'm in my own head. And what I appreciate about you and why I'm sitting back and not saying much is because whether it's you, me, every small business needs one of these like wacky creatives to help them because they can go out there and build and they can do these things. But the one thing you can't do is think about these ideas and how to contextualize them and where they fit and who else is doing it. Like a business is not thinking about that. Like the bakery, the bread, they're thinking about making bread.
Right.
They're not thinking about making wacky videos for attention. So that's what so I just want to say that even though this conversation is like very fun and it's making me laugh, this is where ideas are sourced from.
Yes.
So sometimes this is where the magic happens.
Correct.
I don't think people realize that. Like we're weird creatives. Like I put on a suit and I fake it much better than you do.
I know.
To be one of them. But you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, right? It's like we have things going on up here and we get them out in a way that sells.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree with you. But the thing about like what you do at an event versus what I do is that you put the suit on, whatever, but then you got your creative side that when you're ready to rock and you do it, right? I don't care anymore. I mean, I care, but I don't. So I do what I want to do to a degree. I wouldn't have done this when I was in my 20s, but now
your vibe is awesome right now.
My vibe is just different. And also it's a different vibe than everyone else. And it's a sincere vibe. So when I come into the room,
it's you, right?
I want everybody, oh, Mike's here. This is great. And it's not for an ego thing. I don't really care. If I have to take pictures at an event, I want to get the best images of everybody, the happiest they can be, no matter who they are. Oh, I don't like the way I look. I'm like, well, I don't have to use my beauty button because you look awesome. Okay, boom. And they go, there's no beauty button on the thing, or I'll say to them, you know what? You may not like it, but I can beautify you with my app, Polish. They go, oh, beautify me. Dudes don't say that. They just say, give me more hair. I'm like, fine. What do you want in your chin or nose hair? Guys usually don't care so much. But for one, this guy who is a friend of mine, and he does a lot of philanthropy. He gave me pictures of him with famous people, and I fixed them in AI. But they look great. So the image was a little blurry, and and I fixed it for him, and it looked great. I had to do a little thing here, whatever.
That's acceptable to me.
But I think it is
Because it's sourced from real.
Correct. So, but getting back to the 80s thing.
Yeah.
So, when you look, people drink, some people don't drink, and you talk to people about the stories they had, people now, and you talk to them about what they did in college or in their early 20s, they all, most people went crazy, right? But when it comes to like drug stuff, with the like cannabis being legalized now, it's opening this whole world of people that would never, well, I didn't really do it, but now they do because they can do gummy stuff.
Yeah.
When it comes to hallucinogens, you have to know what you're doing. You have to be comfortable in your head. I think that it's not good for everybody, obviously. Amy Pollin, who's my assemblywoman, has got a thing in front of the legislature regarding about the legalization of mushrooms.
Really?
Yeah. Which is interesting.
Where?
For New York. Yeah. So it's not for everybody. Just like drinking isn't for everybody and smoking pot isn't for everybody. Heroin's for nobody. But my point of the thing with the hallucination stuff is that I felt that it opened my mind to a creative level that I maybe wouldn't have had. And when it comes to going back there to explain to people, so one time I was driving, I was at a frat party because I was in a frat, which was funny because I'm not a frat guy, but all the guys.
Not at all.
No, but the guys in the frat were like wrestlers and football players. It was awesome. I had protection. Anyways, so we partied. It was like a 81, and it was a summer. So I was driving in my car. Now, I'm not going to say that you should be driving while on hallucinogens, but I did.
You should not.
You should not. Don't drive on anything that alters your mind. Okay, there you go. That's the qualifier. However, I was, and the guy in sitting next to me was drunk. So I'm driving, and all of a sudden, a puff of smoke came up, and I saw a unicorn. So I was driving a Mazda GLC 3-speed. So I said, "Wow, look at that, a unicorn." So he goes, "Where?" I go, "You can't see it. You're not, So I put it in AI. It kind of came out it kind of came out like what I was doing. Not exactly, because I wouldn't allow me to.
Do you remember what you wrote?
Yeah, I said, I'm driving at night in a Mazda GLC.
Oh, you wrote it first person.
A Mazda car. I said Mazda GLC. It doesn't really, I don't think it knows what a GLC is, but Mazda, right? And
it probably did, though.
Well, it did when I phase 2 of that night. So phase 1 was that. And so it wouldn't put the guy next to me drunk. It wouldn't do that. It just, for whatever reason. I was using Tora. Yeah, is that it? Whatever. Anyways.
Sora,
sorry. Tora is the, attacking.
Sora is the Google. Yeah. I think it's the Google. Sora is when you take a couple different shots of your face and then it can put your face on anything. Yes,
but you don't have to do that because Kish was the one Kish was the one that served from Service Byte who talked about Sora. Anyways, it has the guy driving and all of a sudden it goes, and he goes, "Wow, that's so cool." Which is, I didn't prompt it, but all I said was that I just gave it an outline of what to say. So then when I got more specific, it took and put in a woman and a guy driving, and the guy was singing, and he sucked. He couldn't sing. The girl's like, "I hate your singing." And then all of a sudden, the unicorn pops up, but from behind. So the more prompting I did, the worse it got. It's interesting. I think learning how to prompt is a skill that people should learn.
That's everything.
Right? Don't you think they should learn how to prompt? Generic prompts give you generic results, but then sometimes specific prompts go too far. So there's that fine line of, like, it took me a while to get what I wanted with that dough thing. It didn't do exactly what I wanted. First, it had me jumping on little mounds of dough. I don't want to jump in. I want to swim in the dough. Then it had me swimming in the dough. No, I don't want to swim in the dough. I want to be like quicksand. So after the 4th prompt, I got it. And hopefully it learned from it, but that was just that one. If I use another AI thing, I'm going to have to start all over again. So I think prompting, though, helps you in that it helps you be more specific about what you want. So
there's people who are just going. So people are doing this in HR because that's who's HR, human resources, using AI a lot. That's all they're studying is to become more efficient in writing the prompt, because that's the future. Like that's what separate the AI. It's leveling the playing field. So who gets better videos, who gets better pictures, who gets better whatever the outcomes are. Like last night, it was so cool. This is what I'm doing with AI, just real quick. So I had a meeting yesterday with a new prospective client. I recorded the meeting. I recorded all my meetings, not to share it, just because AI then says, "Hey, here's the summary."
It gives you the notes and stuff, right?
I did that for your podcast too. Like you were on a podcast, and I just threw it in, and it like broke down, and it was so cool what it does. So that's awesome. One of the things I love it for. But so what I'm doing now, because we went through a big growth this year, and I don't like time is everything to me, and I don't want to hire somebody just to listen to meetings, write proposals, send them. Yeah. So AI now, just since it's listening to my meetings, now I'll go in and I'll say a prompt, and I'll say maybe, hey, I'm thinking it's going to be this much money, it's going to be this much filming. So take the transcript from the meeting based and what I'm saying, what I'm thinking, like my interpretation of it, and make me a proposal. So now it just, and then I can go back in and tweak it. So something that would have taken me, I used to tell people like, hey, it takes me like 2 days to write a proposal, just to find time. 10 minutes now.
That's great.
And I love it. And I forgot why I thought of that. It's to speed up time. There's so many ways that we can use it for. I'm trying to not use it as much as possible, but finding ways where I can, where I feel comfortable. Like I won't do the face thing yet.
But the thing about prompting
I'm just nervous, but I shouldn't be, but it's weird.
No, but everybody, it's whatever you want to do with your own, you have to be comfortable with whatever it is, but prompting is communicating, and everyone has to communicate more efficiently and better. So learning how to prompt probably in some ways might help you be able to communicate better in the real world. Because if you, for example, the whole thing with the elevator speech, right? I want to learn an elevator speech.
It's like instant feedback to see how you're not describing it. You're like, oh, damn, I'm not saying anything right.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like a training thing, training day. And with prompts and communicating, it'll help you it will be part of what that process is. Because obviously, if you're in a networking meeting and you're talking all about yourself, nobody cares. Mm-hmm. So really, it helps you. If you are going to say something, say it so that it's understandable and meaningful. But more importantly, like that whole elevator speech, I'm like, that's dead, man. I call it elevator listening. If you're a nuclear physicist, okay, what the hell am I going to talk to you about? Well, you know what I'm going to talk to you about? I'm going to ask you questions. And I'm going to seem smart because I can ask good questions. I'll be like, wow, so you're a rocket scientist. Interesting. So, I know that there was rocket experimentation in the early part of the 20th century, but I understand that, after World War II, it really took off. And I know we made some questionable decisions with former Nazi scientists, but, tell me about, I'm curious, like, how come it took from 1945 to whatever to get to the moon, but now it seems like we're doing things faster than, is it because of technology, because of whatever?
Aliens.
That too. Yeah, but right, but aliens, man. But you just ask questions, and this if like you do, you interview people, you ask them questions, and it covers for you lack of knowledge, and then people will say, "Wow, you're really thoughtful because you asked really good questions."
Sometimes I'm asking a question to buy me time to figure out what I'm actually supposed to say,
instead of going humana humana. In your brain, right? Don't you do that? You're in your brain. You're like, or when you're giving a speech and you're like, and you do the pause instead of go, or.
One of the greatest tricks I've ever, this is great for networking things. This is great for people if they don't know like what to say. It's to your point, ask questions. But if you still don't know what to say, you never need to know what to say. I read a book. It was like one of those like 92 ways to have successful conversations, something like that. So one of the prompts is just to say, like, if you're talking and I don't know what to say and I'm lost, I'll just go, interesting, tell me more.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's all I got to do. And now I just bought myself another 30 seconds to a minute, because nobody talks in 10-second sound bites. They talk for 30 seconds at a time.
No, I agree with you. And that probably is the most valuable thing you can learn in networking, is to shut the F up and listen and ask questions.
I never talk about what I do. If people even ask me, so what, they did that thing when they look at your name tag. So what do you do? I make videos. Anyway, like talk about something. I need to connect for me. And oh my God, I want to talk about something. Oh my God, let's talk about this real quick. This is kind of provocative. Because I thought about doing a post on this, or I was going to try. So there was a post that went out on LinkedIn that I saw, and it was a lively debate. And me and you maybe can take the debate a little further if you don't mind. I'm just trying to think if I should drop names.
Don't drop names. Just
So somebody made a comment on
a human being.
A human being. It was not AI. It was a human being made a post on LinkedIn and said, digital cards are not the way to go. We need physical. And then people started commenting, yes, when you leave it behind, blah, blah, blah. So I just want to say that I don't do physical cards, Mike.
in your
Speaking of digital,
watch.
my Apple Watch just went off, which means that audio just went out like I was telling you before. So I'm just going to repeat it just in case that dropped away.
Damn technology.
It's so good, but it just gets in the way sometimes. So should we? So I'm in a new era. I forget things. I carry around this Apple Watch that's on me all the time. It has a digital card locked in. People can scan it, get all my information. And I also do work and have colleagues who make flyers, who sell the tchotchkes and leave behinds. You're wearing a bunch of branded stuff right now.
Yep.
So intangible items versus digital items at a networking event. Like, let's talk about that a little. Let's talk about maybe that's a better way to do it instead of debating it. Because I can understand why people want physical cards. But for me, like, I'm not shy about this. My tickets, when I budget something, they're pretty big. I don't really do anything less than $10,000. So for me, I don't want to hand out 100 business cards at an event. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not curating. I'm not selling lollipops. I'm not selling something easy. I'll go online and just buy it.
You're not selling laudanum in 1890. Like, I got this elixir, this digital video elixir that'll help everyone. It's got alcohol, morphine, and potpourri.
I can't wait for the shorts on these. But I'm not doing volume. I'm looking for quality. So for me, it's even intentional that I don't want to just go around and hand out cards, because I don't want somebody to pick up a card 3 months from now and say, hey, I need a video and I need it in a week and I only have... I'm trying to I don't want to waste that person's time either, because they should just go find the person I'm not the right fit for them,
right,
vice versa.
Exactly.
So for me, digital is the way to go. I can track them. It also, when you use a digital business card, because they'll scan it in the moment with their phone, they'll save it into their contact. It notifies me their information as well. So I get there. So the other argument was, hey, they may forget about you, never contact you, but I'm getting it right back in the moment. When you go around, I've never seen you hand out a business card. You don't, right?
I don't have a website either. People go, they go, do you have a website? And do you have a card? I go, I don't do cards or websites.
You don't even have a company page for Buzz Potential, do you?
Just on LinkedIn and Facebook.
Oh, you do?
Instagram.
Okay, you have that. Yeah,
because
okay.
I use social media as my thing. I had a website years ago, and I used to get crappy leads, and I don't want it. And I am word of mouth. That's how I want to be. I'm word of mouth. I don't want random people. Not because I'm elitist. I just don't want random people. I want people that I know, because I can only help people that I really know and also that I think I can work with. I don't want all these, wow, this is calling me and texting. I don't want it. It's bad enough we get all that spam and all those.
Well, actually, it takes time to learn about the person, to figure out what you would offer them, and then they say they don't have the money, and then you ended up wasting time on an unqualified lead, so to speak.
See, the thing is that in whatever you do, there's always, an ulterior motive. And, for people...
You are so diplomatic. Well, I don't feel like I could get you in a debate where you really took a strong stance on something.
It depends on what it is. I mean, but when it comes to like that, like if I'm going to give marketing advice, this is just me. My marketing advice is not based on what's going to benefit me. It's on what's going to benefit, as best I know, right, the client. So I do that all the time. I've always been that way. And even when it comes to whatever the discussion is, I'm like, well, that's interesting, but look at this. So, for example, remember, I don't know if several years before they were doing the cannabis thing, they were talking to people, then they would go interview, they'd have public hearings. So I went to a public hearing in New Rochelle, and I was listening to what they were saying, and a lot of people getting up were drug counselors. And so when I got up, I said, well, I only have known hundreds of people. I only know one that smoked pot and did heroin. I said, but, alcohol leads to alcoholism, cigarettes lead to cancer. So if you're going to say that, marijuana leads to heroin, then you need to get rid of booze and cigarettes. And then I would agree with you. I said, but the other thing is that you drug counselors, let's be honest here, you have an ulterior motive, because right now, if I get caught with weed, I got to go to drug counseling. So let's be honest here. And that's my point. Be honest. Just say, if you're from the KKK, you know where they stand. Doesn't mean it's right, but you know where they stand. But if I'm a bigot, but I'm a quiet bigot, that's even worse, because it's scarier, right? So that's my point. Any advice someone gives, so when I give marketing advice, if I do on social media, it's with that in mind. Like for me, this works. Might not work for you. So take it with a grain of salt. Maybe it won't, maybe it will. But there's no there are certain absolutes. But you've got to have a little, because you got to be able to bob and weave, because look at how fast things change, right? Think about what you did when you first started this, right? When you first started doing video, how have you changed, right? Think about it. Just your own mindset and how you approach it and what you do. It's all changed because you have to. You can't be like, I'm Jeff Cabelli and this is what I'm doing and I'm never changing. I don't even change my clothes. I sleep in another house because my wife says I smell. You can't do that, man. You gotta be able to bob and weave. And that's frightening to people because humans don't like change, mostly. Some do, but most don't, right? Just like, I would argue that squirrels, rabbits, raccoons, and opossums, and sparrows and crows are totally adaptable because we've invaded their environment and they're thriving. Coyotes. What would you think humans would do if this giant thing came down and just plowed your house down? Right? Like you're in a forest, you're hanging out, you're a squirrel, you're like, I'm grabbing some nuts, and the chipmunk's like, I want some nuts too, and whatever. And all of a sudden this big thing knocks all your shit down, okay? You freak out. Look what happened in LA, right, with that horrible fire, right? Very adaptable. We have to be more adaptable, and we're not. We tend to, and some societies are still stuck in the 1600s, and that's not, but you have to be adaptable, and some are, but if you take the average person, they don't like change, but change is constant. What I could do when I was 20 physically versus what I can do now is totally different. I accept that. I'm not going to bum out. Well, okay, whatever. I'm not 20 anymore. It's okay. I am now 66, and I will do what I'm going to do the best 66-year-old I can be. And I'm not going to wallow. I want to be 20 again. I had, friends that I can't bench press 400 pounds anymore. Well, dude, why would you want to? It doesn't make any sense. It's just if you can do 200 pounds, so instead of doing 400 pounds 10 times, you can do 200 pounds 20 times. That's fine. You're in the best shape you can be for the age you are. Be satisfied who you are, because there's people that are a lot worse off than you. Really? Why don't you go live in South Sudan? Okay? Why don't you go live in Gaza? Okay? That's not a political statement. It's just like with the bombing. Mm-hmm. Or any place that's got Ukraine. Live in a city in Ukraine that's getting bombed all the time, or any other hotspot around the world. Stop bitching so much. And unless you have a disability, I get that. But the average person does not. So stop complaining. You always can have a little time to be, but stop being a victim. Stop being a victim. And these companies do, no. You can control certain things like your customer experience. You should have the best customer experience, because if your marketing is great and, Jeff Cabelli does a video for you that brings in tons of customers, you better be able to deal with that. You better be able to deal with the consequences of good marketing. And if you can't, then why are you in business? What are you doing this for? Right? So that's why I like to work with people that have that mindset, that are open to change, that are willing to do the right things by their clients. And that tends to be smaller local businesses, because unfortunately the publicly traded companies care about the stockholders.
Well, they have to. They're actually obliged to.
They have to. So, so nothing wrong with that. And
that's the way corporations are set up. That's what I don't think people understand. That's just their...
Community capitalism is what I like. I like community capitalism because
I like to say I'm a conscious capitalist.
Right, and that's good too.
Same idea.
Same thing. Nothing wrong with that. But I don't care about the big publicly traded companies. They don't really do anything for me. I mean, they've done some stuff, but that's fine. They can do whatever they want.
When they hire me, it's really nice budgets.
Yeah, but that's different. That's different. They're hiring you. That's different. That's a different thing.
Like when I did stuff for Formula One 3 years ago.
That's cool.
That's a nice payday.
But that's different.
Man, do you have to earn it?
Oh yeah. It's a totally different level of
stressful
commitment. Yeah.
You know how to front that money on the budget?
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Well, it's
like tens of thousands of dollars.
When you have an ad agency.
But that's again, because I just want to kind of shit on big business, because that's what they do. They see a small guy. They didn't want to give me the money up front.
No, they take advantage.
They took advantage of me to see if I would even follow through. So I think I put up, it was like $45,000 I had up front. And then eventually over that year, I got the money back. But so speaking of, like, if you want to be a small business and playing the game, like, you got to be willing to do stuff like this too. Like there's risk involved. One of the things you said before that I wanted to ask you, Mike, was you said that you didn't really like bullies, and that equates to small businesses. What is that about? Why don't you like? Is there something like in your? I hate to be like a therapist right now, but was there something in your childhood where it's just like F bullies?
Yeah, here's something. I thought this was interesting. I'm very into loyalty, right? And so back in like 1965 or 66, we lived in Rockland, Massachusetts. Okay, and we had a septic tank back then. There was no, people don't realize that not that long ago it was septic. There wasn't like sewers and whatever, all this stuff. I mean, in what was it, in 64, 65 with Johnson, with the Great Society, there was lots of places that didn't have paved roads, they didn't have running water, whatever. So it hasn't been that long ago. So anyways, as well as, the stuff.
Toilet paper was invented in the late 1800s.
Yeah, there you go.
Like stuff I don't think people realize that.
Stuff you don't realize that, right? Civil rights and all that stuff. Women couldn't get a credit card in the 60s and all that, unless their husband signed off. So all that stuff, people don't realize that. But anyways.
Yeah, not that long ago.
No, not that long ago. So, I had friends and stuff, and they dug a trench they were, doing with the septic tank. And so my father, and I'll never forget this, he goes, "Don't play out there." Well, yeah, right. Just like he said, don't have rock fights, and I did, and I got hit in the head. Because as soon as you tell me not to do it, I'm going to do it. Well, not so much anymore now, but back then I didn't care.
Now it's 50-50.
Now it's 50-50. I think about it, and it's whatever. Okay, I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to get hit with a rock. Because now when you get older and you get injured, it's a problem. When you're little, you bounce back. But now if I get injured, you're out for like a month or 3 months, and you can't do that. I live on the third flight. I got to be able to walk. So we were jumping across the trench. Of course, I fell in. Now I'm holding on, and nobody helped me. I'm like, I'm going to fall in. And they're all laughing at me. In retrospect, it was hysterical. I wish I had a video of it. It fell in the septic tank with all that crap in it was gross. And they called me toilet boy for a while. It was funny.
Wow.
But at that moment, I'm like, wow, nobody helped me. So this is bad. And as a little kid, you're like, wow, no one helped me. And I got yelled at and spanked and all that stuff.
And you're how old? Like 9?
No, I was like 5 or 6.
Oh, yeah.
And back then you got spanked. They didn't have child welfare. They had child, I don't care what you do to your kid. Smack the shit out of him, the little bastard. Dad should have wore a condom. I don't know if they did have condoms back then.
What is it like to feel this free with what you're saying?
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome because when you have people in higher powers dropping F-bombs, I'm like, why do I can say whatever I want.
Yeah.
And it's acceptable. But anyways, so I felt, wow, nobody helped me, and they all laughed. So I said, okay, that's messed up. However, that being the deal, so I want to, as a kid, I'm like, I want to be loyal to people that deserve loyalty. Right. So I never ratted on anyone in school. I was always very, loyal to people and to my clients. And if somebody says, don't say anything, I don't say anything. And so that's why I don't like I thought Jeff Bezos in 1997 was cool. I don't think Jeff Bezos is cool in 2026 almost.
He's too much muscle now.
He's too much muscle.
He is in shape, but I'm talking about financially
and just
influentially.
and just it's just there's and forget the stuff that goes on at Amazon with whatever the workers and all that stuff. It's just that you wiped out so many small businesses, Walmart, all those things.
I think people don't even realize that Jeff Bezos, when he first started Amazon, two things I think they're not going to realize: that it was just books.
That's all it was,
and he was intentionally going around nationwide trying to put them out of business. It was his business plan. He was giving them ultimatums like, hey, you don't want to sell your book with me? And he would undercut. He would basically take the same book and sell it less until that other place went out of business.
Yeah, because he didn't care, because he wasn't publicly traded and he could do that. And he
Are there even like Barnes and Nobles anymore? Like
there are. I mean,
but not a lot. I mean, the bookstores used to be around all the time. And
back then, because I used to work at the Los Angeles Times Book Review, so back then,
cool.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing, but a whole nother lifetime ago of like selling and all that stuff. But back then, the big deal was that the chain stores were destroying the independent booksellers. Okay, so the Barnes and Nobles,
interesting,
the Walden Books, Dalton Books, all those places were putting the local mom and pops out of business because there was a group called the American Booksellers Association that was formed initially to have local mom and pop stick together to try to compete against these superstores that Barnes and Noble were doing, and then the Waldens and that. But then when Bezos came in, his model screwed up. It took a little time, but his model screwed up the Barnes and Noble thing. Okay. But then Amazon came in, and now Amazon's selling books at the level they are now. And so I don't buy books I have friends that are authors, and I do not buy from Amazon. I go, is your book going to be on Barnes and Noble? Funny that now Barnes and Noble is the underdog. It's weird. Or if I get it at a local bookstore, I will. But most of the time, the books that my friends publish are not going to be in a local bookstore. So I'm not going to buy from Amazon. I don't go to Whole Foods anymore. I don't. You bought it? I'm never going to. I wouldn't buy a Tesla right now, not because of the.
I want one so bad.
But
They're so cool. I know it's the philosophy, but it's just that car is so cool.
No, it is cool, but I'm not going to give him any money. He's got enough money. I would give it to like Rivian, or you know what I mean, smaller one. That's all. So it's the same thing. So
by the way, shout out to Bruised Apple in Peekskill for staying alive.
Yeah,
this time.
Yeah. No.
It's an awesome bookstore.
Well,
if nobody knows that, like go to Bruised Apple. Everybody knows Bruised Apple.
No, but people outside of the market should know it, and it's unique, and that's the thing. It's unique. So bookstores now have evolved and changed.
It's right next to Valley Greens,
which is great. You can go get a gummy and read a book.
How do you read books? There's no way.
Picture books.
How did you?
Dude, you just look at a picture book. You don't read. You don't read War and Peace. Did you
read Cliff Notes to get through school, or?
No. I used to actually be hired by my frat brothers to type papers for them because none of them knew how to type because I was typing in high school. So what would happen is I usually, in order to do the work, I usually, drank a little bit or whatever. So they would get, it was funny, I'd do papers for like my roommate, and he'd get an A in content and an F in grammar. He'd get a C. But that was okay because he couldn't do it. They could not write. They just like speaking.
A free C is better than a hard-earned B.
Right, exactly. Right. Just like speaking. Like, I'm so nervous about speaking. And I would say, I understand that because like they could be a black belt or a green beret and they're speaking. Meanwhile, they've done that stuff, but speaking freaks them out. And I just go, no one knows what you're going to say.
I love speaking in front of a crowd. It's my favorite thing to do. I just don't tell anybody that now. I mean, now I am, but
you're now everyone knows. But
I'll pretend like, do I have to?
Yeah,
I love it.
But it's great because no one knows what you're going to say. No one has your speech.
I don't know what I'm going to say.
No, but that's even better. That makes it fun. Like when you have to, like when someone, if I get I got to read. I'm like, here we are. There's nothing to fear but Jeff Corbelli himself.
First, I want to thank.
Yeah, I want to thank someone else, and I don't do that. I can't read this stuff. Then I start going Hudson Valley Gateway Chamber. Commerce 25.
One of the best speeches I ever gave, I was the best man at my brother's, I was about to say funeral. That makes no sense. How do you be a best man at a funeral? The best man at a wedding.
That's cool.
And I remember the night before, I was just writing on papers, and I was, and then I get up there, and I had like a stack of papers. I pull out of my suit, and I just looked at it, and I was drinking a little bit. And I was like, my hand was shaking. I was like, I can't even read this. But I wrote it so many times the night before. It was in my head.
That's cool.
And it was too long. Like for a best man speech, you should not go over 5 minutes. And mine was like 8. That's too long. People don't realize how long speaking. Sometimes you feel that's actually interesting. Sorry, I'm just thinking about this in my head out loud now. When people give speeches like that, they don't realize that they're taking up so much time. But then when you put somebody on a spot like at a business networking thing and ask them to say something about their business, they talk too short. And they like run away because they think they've been talking for too long. I wonder what's happening there. I just thought about that psychologically.
But that's a whole, because what we're talking about is communicating. And when it comes to that, like you've been to...
it's an illusion of time is what I'm getting. You don't realize, you don't...
Well, it's also... Are you absorbed in what you're going to say? Or are you aware of the audience? Read the room, and that people will not read the room, right? I had, when I was the best man for a thing, I was given a script because they were worried about what I was going to say.
That makes sense.
So I had to do it because I was told, and because the guy who got married, his name was Dick O'Connor, but his nickname was Dick the Bastard. So they didn't want me to say that. So when I had a wedding, when I got married, I had a best man, a worst man, just a man, and not quite a man. And so I had the best man was Dick and I introduced him as Dick the Bastard. I didn't care. And then my worst man was Buzz Joy Love. And so it was great. We had the best man speech, then we had a worst man speech, then my wife's brother spoke. And when I told the DJ, I'm like, when you introduce sorry, Hendrix, Purple Haze.
Hold this right here. Oh no, that wasn't it.
Oh wow.
I don't know where it's vibrating from.
That's
Maybe the
pretty
spring.
wild. It's a new sound effect.
I want you to do it again.
I know, right? Right on. Oh wow.
It wasn't that. Oh yeah, it was that.
That's cool. Dude.
I don't even know what you were saying now.
It's mushroomed. I'm sorry.
A good, just a friend, or what were you saying?
Oh, so anyway, so what I was saying was when I said, and my
Just
wife,
a man.
And I said to my wife prior to the wedding, I'm like, I'm not doing that. She's like, okay. I said, can we do a maid with honor, a maid with no honor, or something? She goes, no. Okay, fine. But when I told the DJ, he's like, are you kidding me? I go, no. So he introduced him. He's like, he would say whomever the maid of honor was, whatever. But then he'd be like, the best man, Dick the Bastard O'Connor. And then the worst man with whomever the girl was, Buzz Joy Love. And then there was just a man and not quite a man. The guy, God rest his soul, who passed was not quite a man. He's like, why do I have to be not quite a man? I said, because that's just the luck of the draw, dude. He goes, but none of the women are going to want to talk to me. I'm like, they're not going to want to talk to you anyways, so we're fine, dude. Just relax.
If you let yourself be called not quite a man, that's why you got named not quite a man.
Right.
Because a real man, I don't want to judge
Right,
him too
because
much.
what he should have said was, I want to be called more than just a man.
Something else,
I
right.
would have done that.
Exactly.
I would have done that. Fine. You want to be called more than just a man?
That's the copywriter in you.
You want to be more than just a man? Fine.
Why didn't you try out for like SNL just as a writer? Did you? Did you do
it's-
any of that stuff? Because you have a comedy. itch.
It's funny. I when I slow down, whenever that, to a degree, like once I'm able to slow down a little bit, I want to do stand up. I don't care. I want to do some stuff creatively that I can't do now because I can't afford to. I don't care how old I am.
Stand up is so much fun.
Oh yeah. Well, singing. I mean, the lyrics that I write, the stuff that
Have you seen my set? Have you ever seen my stand up?
No.
Do you not know I do stand up?
No.
Oh, I'm going to send you.
Send it to me. I want to see it. That's awesome. Stand-up's great. And I watch stand-up on Instagram because that's the easiest one. And some of the stuff is great. Some of it's like horrible.
Like one of my bits, Mike, that I like, and because I won't do stand-up anymore because I'm having too much fun doing this. But one of them was about drug use, actually. So when people say, like, I used to bring up terrible advice. You only live once. Live every day like it's your last. And I used to say, if you want me to live every day like it's my, like, if you told me, this was my bit, if you told me today was my last day, I would. Wow, this is actually kind of funny. I haven't thought about this bit in 5 years, but it's a funny bit. I invented a term. It was called max crack. And it's when I max out all my credit cards on crack cocaine.
Oh, cool.
That's step one. And that's how, and then that was my bit. And then I can't do the rest of it because this is somewhat of a family business program. But no, dude, doing stand-up was so much fun. I used to start out my set by saying, I'm doing stand-up because I can't afford therapy. And I used to get people going. But there's truth in that, right? So the reason I was doing it, like there was a lot of stuff on my mind, just like yours. And like just to get it out and to have people laugh or not laugh, that feedback to let you know. It's like we were talking about with AI and prompts. That crowd lets you know. And I used to go and practice at the comic strip on 2nd Avenue. Was that 82nd?
Oh, in the city, yeah.
82nd, 83rd?
Yeah.
I used to go there every Tuesday and just practice. Paid $20, go up there wait for 2 hours because there's 20 guys, all trying to go up and practice stuff. So you're in front of other comedians, some successful, some not. So that's, to me, it's even more pressure than just a random audience because the random audience is drinking. They're there to laugh. Comedians judging each other, not drinking, are there to critique.
Absolutely. No, I think it's great. It's a baptism
it's
of fire.
So cool.
It's a baptism
it's so
of fire.
Much fun. You
Absolutely.
should do that.
Well,
I would even get back into it again when you start doing it.
Well,
because you have to practice first.
Well, you and I also talked about like just the comments that we make at events and stuff are kind of funny. But what I would do is I wouldn't tell. I don't do jokes. I do stories. And I would talk about the things, just like that toilet.
It's called being funny along the way.
Right.
It's not a joke. That's a term.
No.
It's like you tell a story, but it's funny along the way.
Absolutely. I have hundreds of stories that I would tell that I've told in the past that people crack up over, whatever. And then when you're standing, you can embellish it, and you can go, oh, and you can do that stuff, and they go, oh, that's really funny, that's wild. But it's like, no, it's true. This is a story.
Maybe you're a one-man play then. Maybe it's more of a play than a stand-up.
Well, it's certainly a journey, and like I'm telling you about these like seeing the unicorn and stuff, and there was more to the story as well. But it's when you tell it to people and you emphatically say it, then you throw in some things that embellish it, and they go, wow, and they laugh because but it's true. It's like using AI. I'm using this to this video, but the foundation is truth. It'd be the same thing. You know, I would do that, and you go, wow. And everybody has wild stories. The problem is they don't remember. And there are many stories I don't remember, unfortunately, but people told me, and I can remember. But then there's other ones that I do remember. And then in my latter half of my life, when I minimized the drinking part, I had more clarity. I could remember stuff. And I'm like, wow, some of it, like even now, like, really, this is what this person's thinking? This is crazy. You're out of your mind. It's hysterical. Like the whole thing that I see now is the people that are not happy with their life and they get a few drinks in them. And it's like, oh, my life sucks. I hate everything. And I'm like, I have a barbiturate right here, man. Just, you know, like really? Like you don't like your life. I got an idea. Change it. Switch the channel.
Some people don't even need to change it. They just need to change the way they look at it.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's just that.
Sometimes as simple as that, right?
Yeah.
If it's right, today's snowing. Oh, Jesus, it's snowing. It sucks. No, it's cool. It's beautiful. It's not that bad. The roads aren't that bad.
Thunder Ridge is going to open. I snowboard at Thunder Ridge over there in Brewster.
See?
They had opening day. Well, they were supposed to open Saturday, but like I live 2 miles from there. There's really nobody on the mountain because it was raining all day Friday. So some people were like, "Yay, it's raining," and me, I was like,
Bumming.
"This sucks."
It sucks, yeah.
But now today it's snowing, and I'm like, "Yeah."
That's what I mean. So you can look at it either way you want, and that's the thing. So you don't let stuff get you down that you can't control, and that's a huge problem in our society today. If people like listen to what happens in Washington or Albany, I can't control that. I want to know about it though, because of what I'm in. I need to know, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it. I mean, if it affects me, yes, but if it doesn't, it might.
But even if it affects you, like you're saying, try to take control of it. Maybe do something about it.
Right. Like inflation is bad, right? Inflation, you go to the store, I buy healthy food, it sucks, right? Even like crappy food is expensive, but I eat healthy. It's expensive, all right? It's like, having
Got to tighten up.
It's having a drug habit. Right. So I said to my wife, we're going to cut back on some things. Like we don't need a landline phone. She says, I'll pay for it. I'm like, no, I just don't do it. We don't need it.
It adds
little
up.
things,
Yeah.
it adds up. That's how you control it. Stop food waste.
Dude, my Netflix is like 20-something bucks a month now. I'm kind of like, I love Netflix, but man. Some of these things, like how many subscriptions do I need?
Right,
So
right, exactly.
Some of it is our fault. I do, or I should say it even this way, because back to in your control, you're accountable for some of these things. Like you spend the money.
Yes.
You guys have a landline still? Are you serious?
Yeah, it's.
I'm sorry.
I'm like, landlines.
Is there a fax machine too?
We have
Is there a working
we use
number?
an abacus. It's like, I have a passbook with I write my little. I go, please stamp my
You have a
passbook.
ledger? You still using
I have
the
a
ledger?
ledger. I have a computer. Yes, whatever. I don't look at the time. I look at the sun, and look at my shadow. Yeah.
The way this is the last thing we're going to cover here, because the way that I want to end this is the reason I started this talking about you're a good person. The reason why I know this is not because of my relationship with you. A lot of people say a lot of nice things about you. And one of those people that always says something nice about you, and I know there are more, but it's some of our leadership. Some of these network things. Hillary Millman, ADO. What is she? Executive director? What is
Yeah.
it? Sometimes I don't know the title.
She's
it's CEO.
Yeah, she's executive director.
It's almost every time your name comes up. Oh my God, he helped me out so much. Oh my God, he's the best guy ever. Oh my God, he's the why? I don't know if it's related to the same story we told before, but why is it also just in your nature to want to help out people so much? You said you like selling and connecting people. Why?
Because
do you know why?
Yeah, because when I was, in high school, I mowed lawns, and that was on my own thing, right? And then I did construction, and I unloaded railroad cars and all that stuff. I did all that stuff growing up.
Wow.
But when I got into the business
Where'd you
thing,
grow up? In Massachusetts?
Yeah, Massachusetts, yeah. In Norwell, Mass, which is in between Plymouth and Boston, South Shore.
Keep going. I don't know. I went to school in Boston. I went to Emerson College.
Okay, so Emerson was great. So that's where Coolidge went, Jennifer Coolidge. Jennifer Coolidge was 2 years behind me, I know, from my high school. Jennifer Coolidge, yeah. And she was different then. She was totally chill, completely different person than she is now. So
how far from Boston? Like an hour?
20 miles.
Oh, wow.
It's not far. It could be 3 hours with
So
traffic.
you partied in Boston? You would go there and go out for a night
yes,
or try
yeah.
to?
Well, yeah.
Take a
When I
train
was
back?
older, not as a teenager. We partied in the woods. I Yeah.
Keg parties in a cul-de-sac.
Keg parties, we just drove around with one six
You
packs.
guys stop talking about driving and
I know.
Don't do it.
It was only
It was the
don't
60s.
drink
It
and
was the
drive.
70s. I mean, it was the 80s. It was the
Yeah,
90s.
it was the 80s. You could do
It was
whatever
the
you wanted.
2000s.
Yeah, you could do whatever you wanted, children. But anyways, so that
Crazy
was all.
to think that cars did not have a airbag.
Oh, it's just, and you didn't have to put the seatbelt on. The whole thing was whatever. It's just ridiculous. But anyways, so that was all individuals. But then when I started, I went to Catholic school for a year and a half in college. That didn't work out. What a shock. And then that's a story, but I'm not telling that here. When I do stand up, I'll tell it.
One full year?
Like year and a half.
Oh, year and a half. So
Yeah. What's funny, because when the friend of mine we got kicked out together, and I remember his parents, his father was a New York City detective, and my father was a dentist, and they had to come up to deal with what we did, and we're talking, and my father started insulting the guy, and I'm like, we're dead now, because my father was like, he had no filter.
Did you have to floss and brush all the time?
Oh yeah, I had. He after I beat him in arm wrestling when I was a teenager, he wouldn't give me Novocaine, so I had it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he had these big fat Italian fingers and Pall Mall menthol breath and all that. So it's like I'm not. So I would, I brush my teeth and whatever. And if I did have a little cavity, I'd smoke a little crappy weed, because that's all there was back then. So it wouldn't hurt. And he couldn't smell it because he was on menthols. But yeah. But anyways,
I wonder why there's a lot of Italian dentists. That's not like an uncommon thing for Italians to go into. And there's got to be a reason for that.
Well, I think one of the things is that
we're good with our hands.
Yes, and building.
I'm not trying to be funny.
No, not at all.
Like mason work.
No, not at all. No, it's absolutely true, because he also would fix things. So no question.
You have to sculpt teeth sometimes.
Yeah. You got to build. Oh no, absolutely. It definitely is that masonry sort of thing that he had. But anyways, that was kind of on my own. But then when I went into college, not that one, but the University of Rhode Island, I'm like, what am I going to do? I hurt my back. So I couldn't do physical labor anymore. So
that's a fun school, huh?
It's a fun. Well, yes, it was a fun.
Good baseball program, I think.
Good baseball program. They had a good baseball program and other programs that were pretty good. But I didn't know what to do. So I saw an ad in the college newspaper, the Good 5 Cent Cigar, and so I went. I met with the kid. We drank like 2 pitchers of beer, and he gave me advice. And so he mentored me that first semester, and then I was on my own as the ad manager. And we did well. I had people coming over. I had people, helping me out, and I had guys and girls going and get ads, whatever. It was great. But he helped me, so that the next summer I went to the Patriot Ledger, which was a local paper. My father got me the job, but then the guy that was the ad director taught me, and people around me taught me. And all of a sudden I'm going, wow, these people are teaching me stuff. This is cool. What I did is I replaced ad reps when they went on vacation. And when one ad rep had a strip joint in Stoughton, I went to that. That was interesting. Wasn't even 21 yet, but anyways, I had to collect
you had to
money.
be 21? They had to be 18.
No, it was graduated.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It was because they were going to cut off highway funds. Anyways, then when I went to my real job after college, Bill Ford, God rest his soul, he sits me down and he goes, he's another one with the cigarettes and all that thing. He goes, you got to know your numbers. He goes, in newspaper advertising, because that's what it was a rep firm repping newspapers, small markets. He goes, you got to know your numbers. You got to know classified. You got to know real estate. You got to know employment, and and I'm like, and housing, and he was right. Housing, autos, and real estate were the 3 things, and housing, autos, and employment, because back then everything ran in classifieds, and when it started to go down, that's mean we're going in a recession. And then all of a sudden I was like, wow, this mentoring. And then I did a speech at a conference, and I dropped my microphone and I go, Phenopoly, whatever, started saying Italian stuff. And so the owner of the company goes, Mike, you got to go to speech training. So I went to speech training, even though I took speech in college, whatever. And it did help to a degree. So, and that mentoring and people teaching me how to use computers in '89 when I went to another job. And then at the LA Times, I learned about the books from Frank O'Toole, who was the ad director, and he took a special interest in books. I learned about that. So every place I went to, I learned. So you were
in L.A.?
I was in New York, but I would go to L.A. I was in the New York office. So every place I would learn stuff. So I would try to help people starting out, but when I got on my own, back after 9/11, I lost my job and joined the Business Council. I'm like, well, wait a minute. All this stuff I've learned, I can help people that are starting their own business about how to, how to market themselves or how to communicate. Because for years I was selling. I had a $50 million book of business at the LA Times that I was managing. I don't talk to people about that much because I don't really only do sales consulting. But so that's why I like to help people starting out, because people help me starting out. They gave me advice. So I want to give people advice that are starting out. So that's why whomever I meet, especially if we connect, I'm like, oh, we start talking and I'll make a suggestion if it's okay. I'm not going to force my ideas on people, but if they ask me a question, I'll try to give them the best answer I can, or I will tell them who can give them the best answer. Like, so if someone says to me, I'm looking for video, I'm like, well, what do you want? Well, I just want someone to fill live events. Okay, I know who to do that for.
Yeah.
Or I want someone to capture the essence of who I am, to communicate a message. Well, that's different. That gets into Jeffrey territory. Okay, but to film events, that's not you. That's not you. It's got nothing to do with it. It could be just corporate audiovisual. Joe Gilderson could do that, film an event. So that's why. And people help me. My father, for all his faults, he had some good things. And one of the things he had connections. So he got me that job, and I'll always be thankful for that. That's the thing. I can look at someone, and even if they had faults as a human being, there's always good stuff of them, and you got to appreciate the good stuff, because if they didn't have the good stuff, that's fine. But he had those connections, and I had to do it on my own, but he got me in the door. So don't waste an opportunity. If someone can get you in the door, don't waste that opportunity. That's why I got a guy now, this kid Josh, who I'm working with. I'm mentoring him in regards to writing, and he's taking photos with me, because eventually I'd like to see him be like the backup photographer for me and for like John Vecchiola, because John is looking to get the backup.
John. I wish we talked about John. Yeah. John's such a good guy.
Well, we're after
and
this.
What a good photographer.
He's a great photographer, and after this, I'm going to Hillary's place in Wappingers, and we're going to get John on LinkedIn finally. Dude, he hasn't been on. I mean, he's like, photos by John Vecchiola. And then people try to like tag him, and they can't. I said, John, LinkedIn, dude, forget it. You don't have to worry about Facebook or Instagram, but you got to be on LinkedIn.
Exclusively. He only has to be on LinkedIn.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So listen, before we shut down, I want to give you a couple presents.
Feels good to help people too.
Absolutely. It's awesome. All right. So the first thing I'm giving you.
Cool. I like presents.
Yep. It's the Daisy Joplin Foundation shirt. Daisy is a classically trained violinist, and what her foundation does is get kids who can't afford it violins and lessons in music. And music is so important for children, and so important for the development of a young mind.
And a violin, it's there's some things that are probably lost arts. So like Daisy, I just want to talk about her for a second, because God, I met Daisy almost when I first started out my company, and she was trying to put on a show at the Paramount. It was like 15 years ago.
Wow.
And I met her, and that was the guy she was with at the time. I think he's passed since
he did.
then.
Yeah, unfortunately he passed away.
So I just, and again, anybody who's like trying to start something. So this is why I related to your story that you were saying before, and this may be true with Daisy too, this is why I like to help people and support them is, dude, when I got into Emerson, I felt lucky, like very fortunate and blessed. I was like, wow, because I came from, I just grew up in Mahopac, New York. I didn't have any connections into the film world. There was no monster.com. I mean, even then you wouldn't get hired for anything, So when I got into Emerson, I went, holy shit, I think I can do it. But then I graduated Emerson and I couldn't find work. So everybody I graduated with at Emerson, they all had uncles,
connections.
One was a cousin to Dennis Leary, who was an Emerson grad, like just different things. And they were like, oh, my uncle works on this show and I'm going to be here. And I'm going to go to LA when I'm done. And I had no connections. So Emerson helped me just to get some places. But even now, I'd just really like to pay it forward because now it doesn't matter. Like it used to need it. Used to need a connection to break in. Now it is just it's not who you know. If you're good, I do think you can get discovered. I feel that way about myself. I feel like the quality of my work has gotten better, and I've been rewarded by people knowing about me more.
Exactly.
And I just never gave up. But I do want to pay it forward. So just to start something from nothing, I just also think that Daisy does it. She has like big dreams. Paramount is like 5,000 seaters. She wants to sell those out, and she wants to travel the world and sell it out. So big fan of Daisy Joplin just for being
and
a go-getter.
And she gives back, and she gives back. So that's the thing. And getting these music, art is very important. I find that if you're a senior citizen and you have no hobbies, it's your demise kind of goes quicker. And art, no matter what it is, drawing, whatever you do, art, photo, whatever you can do until basically you drop, right? And that's great for the brain and the mind. So even if you don't end up playing violin your whole life, as a kid, it helps you develop all sorts of skill sets and things.
Such a regret of mine that I don't know how to read music to this day.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what key we're in when we're doing stuff, but I like writing the lyrics and all that other stuff. So, anyways, that's that. Then I'm giving you a magnet from my Hope for Youth Foundation that you can put on your refrigerator. You have a refrigerator, right?
Yeah, you didn't hear it in the background? That's over there.
Oh, there it is, yeah.
That little one down
So,
there.
yeah, the Hope for Youth, there's two of them, one for here and one for home. Hope for Youth Foundation, Jim Witt, who was a weatherman and still is at WHUD. There you go. There's a calendar, baby. That's what I'm talking about. And you saw the video we did, the one with you dancing a little bit. That was a little AI.
So I have to be honest about that video. For a second, I knew we didn't do anything in the snow.
That's right, but I AI'd you.
No, I know you AI'd me, but I was like, wait a minute, did I actually dance? Because I kind of dance like that.
Oh, you do? No.
Like there's a little, that's almost like Ellen from Seinfeld, the way I was dancing in there. But no, just it sort of captured like my essence. Like I'm very fluid when I dance.
That's really
and when I saw that, I was like, wait, did we record a video?
No, that was in CapCut. I think I did. I didn't even AI it that way. I AI'd it in CapCut, right?
So awesome.
From the picture that I prompted to have you be on the mountain in Hudson Valley. And
again, your intention is not trying to fool anybody
No.
there. You don't, but that's actually me. I was actually holding the calendar,
Right.
pointing to my birthday, which
Exactly.
nobody needs to know. But that all happened. Then you just turned it into a video. It's
That's
cool.
all. That's all. It's very simple. And then this is my final one. This is for your wife, not for you. Sorry, dude.
That's okay. I got her a lot of stuff for Christmas. So
This is my Mighty Book of Mantras. My friend Donna Martini, who lives in Long Island, and
wow.
it's very cool. She wrote this book a while ago, and the reason I found her was through my friend Jim Newhouse. Jim Newhouse does insurance, but he was engaging with her on Facebook years ago, and I saw that she was posting pictures and pages from this book of mantras, and she would comment on it, and I'd see the feedback people gave her. And what was interesting, besides the fact that they were mantras and whatnot, was she would, if she didn't have nail polish on, she would kind of color it. And like it looked like a crayon color on her nails, and then people were giving her crap about it. So I was like, really? She's showing you these cool mantras about love, and you're giving her shit about her nails? Right. So then we started communicating. Anyways, several years ago, I reached out to her. I said, look, can I buy some of your books to give out to people? And she goes, yeah. So I would go to her house. She lives in Long Island, Oyster Bay. And I would go to her house. We'd hang out. She had a dog, and we would have pizza. There's a local pizza place that has really good pizza there. And then I would buy the books, and I'd hand them out to people as a gift. So I did that several times. And then later this year, she goes, you've been so nice. You've bought so many books. I'm going to give you 30 books for free as a thank you. So I'm like, great. And I'm going to buy more books from her this year. And I'm going to try to get her to come up here. She's a fascinating person.
My wife will love this.
But I think she'll love it. And I only give it to people who I think will like it. And I only met your wife for a second or a couple times, but I got the aura, and I thought that she would appreciate that. Plus she signed it too, which is kind of cool.
Well, I saw that. You're right on about Wendy liking this. So this book is called My Mini Book of Mighty Mantras, a daily dose of love, wisdom, and mindfulness. A daily reminder of our power, purpose, and potential. Written by Donna Martini. And she signed it with love and kindness. Exactly. You know, I've always seen people put XOXO. She put OOXX. What's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know.
You can do whatever you want in a combination?
Yeah.
They don't have to follow alternating. I never knew that.
Yeah.
I like talking about random stupid stuff like
that. It was kind of cool. And so I just did an AI video with her. I'm going to post it at the end of the month. It's almost at the end of the month, where we're together with that book, and we do my thing when you hide your face, whatever, and then it AIs us, and then we're in front of a crowd. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I think it's a great gift. It'd
be really easy to turn her mouse into.
I did that.
Yeah.
So we created a punk band because she likes real music and I like punk music, and so I actually played one of my songs for her, and she goes, "Wow."
You don't consider your music real?
You know what I mean? My goal.
I'm very literal.
Yeah, I know. It is real, but can be really bad and really annoying, and that's what I want. I want to elicit, anger, or I'm reviled by this music. And
Who used to like to piss people off? Who was the comedian that used to do stuff to make people mad? I feel like that's what you reminded me of a little bit. Who's that guy? They made a movie about him, Man on the Moon.
Oh yeah, Andy Kaufman. Yeah,
You
right.
like the Andy Kaufman
I am
music?
Andy Kaufman because I want to. We sang at my back when I got married. We sang at the wedding at the time. I had a band called Hot Taco Thighs. And,
Some of the names of your bands, because
okay. There's Hot Taco Thighs, Buzz Joy Love, Boomer Baby, Wireless Mike, and the Analogs.
I like that one.
For one gig, we were the Shaved Teddies. And then, that was because it was a TED party. From when the TED movie came out, we were raising money for a guy who lost his house in Sandy. So we called ourselves the Shaved Teddies.
This was so cool about you, man. You just turn you could. That's my takeaway from today. You can kind of turn anything into anything. Like it's how you mold it a little bit. That's what you've done with your life. You've taken whether good or bad and turned it into something where you can shape a life and purpose.
You have to do that.
Wow, I didn't know this about you until this podcast.
So there you go, man. Anyways, thank you. This is awesome, and I figured your wife would like that. That's kind of a cool thing. So if you want to, if you can, take a picture with it. That's cool.
Yeah, we'll do some stuff right after.
Do some stuff with it. Yeah.
All right, so that's it. That was another episode of A Good Story with Mike Dardano, and as you can tell, he's a good person, and that's that.
Thank you, Jeff.